Predeterminism is the philosophy that everything is caused by a chain of events that have already been set in motion by the universe. It's the philosophy of cause and effect. A ball flies because it was thrown, and a pin falls because it was dropped. This also extends to human free will. Everything you do is beyond your control. All of your actions are merely reactions, predestined to happen because of past events. In predeterminism, there is no such thing as free will. Everything you do is ultimately just part of a chain reaction beyond your control. This is the philosophy of DEVS, the new show by writer-director Alex Garland. Known for movies such as Ex Machina and Annihilation, Garland is one of the newest in the wave of auteurs coming to television. Just like the previous auteur shows that I've discussed, this show bears all the marks of Garland's visual and writing style. Like his previous work, its gorgeous cinematography, surreal imagery, and unnerving music makes for a cerebral and haunting experience. And just like other auteur TV shows that I've discussed, DEVS uses the format of TV to take a deep dive into themes and ideas unique to the vision of the filmmaker. DEVS explores the idea of predeterminism and views it in the lens of technology. If free will is a null concept and everything we do is part of a predetermined chain reaction caused by the universe, then the world is no different than a computer that runs on code, following a set of pre-written commands. If we can crack this code, we can trace the line of causal events from now all the way back to the beginning of time. And more importantly, we can use it to look into the future. DEVS is very thorough in making sure that every event in the show follows this philosophy. Every character action is a reaction to something that's caused by a longer chain of events. Forrest only pursues his goals at DEVS to prove his predeterminist philosophy. He wants to prove his predeterminist philosophy because he wants to be absolved of the guilt he feels for the death of his wife and daughter. He feels guilt because he was talking on the phone with them when they had a car accident, making him feel partially responsible for their deaths. However, if everything is a predetermined chain reaction, then he has no reason to feel guilt. There was nothing he could do to save his family. Predeterminism gets rid of all notions of personal responsibility, because no one really has any choices. His wife and daughter were always going to die, he was always going to witness it, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. It's also how the characters justify conspiracy and murder. Just as you can't hold a computer to a moral standard, you can't hold humans to standards of morality. If you murder, you were always going to murder. You had no choice, and you ultimately cannot be blamed for your actions.
Not a fan of the multiverse theory. I'd go with the former.
Forrest doesn't want the multiple world theory to be true. If it's true, then that means there's multiple predetermined worlds that account for slight variations in action. And that means that there is a world where Forrest's actions could have saved his family. It means that there's still a reason to bear guilt and responsibility. Then we have the main characters, who oppose the idea of predeterminism, who believe that they have the free will to stop the oncoming chain of events. They do everything in their power to stop the inevitable, but their efforts are futile. Lily goes to DEVS despite her initial stubbornness, the events happening prior to her trip leaving her with no choice. For a time, it appears that she gives into this idea of scripted reality, and she begins to follow it, knowing that at the end, her death awaits her. But then, something happens. She makes a choice. Instead of obeying what she knows is going to happen, she makes a slight alteration that changes the outcome. Or at least, it should have changed the outcome. Ultimately, Lily still meets her demise in the same way she would have if she followed the code. In doing this, the show suggests that there are multiple predetermined worlds that account for slight variations in human action. Lily throws out the gun that kills both her and Forrest, but there's still someone on the other side that, because of a predetermined set of events, takes the steps necessary to ensure Forrest is killed. Lily's death was a certainty, predetermined by the universe, and nothing she could have done would have changed that outcome. At this point, the show's message seems to be that determinism is the truth of the universe, and predeterminism is an absolute certainty. However, when Forrest and Lily are uploaded into the DEVS system, they are finally free from the laws of predeterminism. They make their own decisions that affect outcomes previously depicted as inevitable. It's a dark irony that, despite being a coded simulation, their new digital world operates less on predeterminism than the real world. In the end, DEVS says that the only way to escape the predetermined code of the universe is to live inside a computer.